For those of you who don't know, Tim J. Dillon, I always thought was like kind of funny. I thought that he had like some good take, you know, every now and then. But turns out he's the Joe Rogan Alex Jones video that we watched. The entire video made him look more like just a simp for Alex Jones, and not in like my kind of simping for Alex Jones, but straight to fuck up simping for Alex Jones, unironically. And I think it's because he is a bit of a grifter. I think he's just trying to capitalize on the anti-SJW culture on the internet, that sort of thing.
I'm not saying defund them, but do we need for the police to be like stormtroopers running around the country, kicking down doors because somebody might be smoking a joint?
Let's be clear. The police are not kicking down your door because you're smoking a joint. Okay, so that's like leftism fantasy land. Like, I'm just smoking a joint and the police always just kick down the door. Come on, that's ridiculous. Like, maybe you're a drug dealer and you happen to be smoking a joint and the police came at that moment.
No, they definitely do that. No, you just said that they're a drug dealer because that's what cops end up trying to make it seem like. But again, Candace Owens is a white supremacist psycho who literally traffics in doing racial agitative propaganda for white people to feel better about themselves and their racist opinions because they have one of the good ones who advocates for the things that, I believe and I've always believed. It's fucking nonsense to claim that like people aren't getting clapped up for just possession when that is definitely something that has happened historically. Called the fucking the war on drugs, and the drugs won. Also, racism won. The real war on drugs were the friends we made along the way. She's saying that, by the way, which is consistent with her opinion on Breonna Taylor. That's the way she justifies police brutality, by saying, oh, well, they're black, they got killed by the cops. Well, that's because they're drug dealers. I mean, she fucking literally said that about Breonna Taylor.
Because a car that she had rented all the way back in 2016 was involved in a homicide that was being investigated. A homicide which involved her boyfriend, the one that was a drug dealer, her ex-boyfriend at the time that she has been killed, Jamarcus Glover. This is all about a very intricate drug ring that the police officers had been following for years.
She said that. She implied heavily in the grossest way possible that like Breonna Taylor's executioners were justified because she's actually a drug dealer, despite the fact that she's not, and it didn't matter. I absolutely fucking despise her. Her boyfriend shot at the police. Hey, me and my homies are going to break down in plain clothes. We're going to break down your door with guns. And if you have a gun and you're defending yourself, well, sorry, we can kill you legally. No, it doesn't work that way, you fucking idiot. As a matter of fact, it so doesn't work that way that one of the cops, not the one that killed Breonna Taylor, but one of the cops that at least fired into the apartment and one of the stray bullets that hit another apartment was literally charged for it because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to fucking do that.
The case this year where the person who we saw being, aggressively pursued by the police was listening to the police officers' instructions, then I would say, okay, maybe we do have an issue with police officers. Every single case that is brought to the public forefront, the thing that never gets discussed is why couldn't this person listen to police orders? And I mean, we're not talking about like the police snapped on I'm talking the police officer is saying 18, 20, 30 times, giving them an instruction and they don't do it. And they keep coming towards the police.
Literally didn't happen in Breonna Taylor. None of the things that she's saying happened with Breonna Taylor. She was not a drug dealer. She also got no fucking warning that the cops were there. She got killed in her own apartment. And this fucking psycho called her a drug dealer. She's talking about George Floyd, but it doesn't matter. There is no judge, jury, executionerism when you tell a person to listen to you. You don't get to fucking execute them. It doesn't work that way. Also, Candace, no matter how much you fucking try, like these people are not going to see you as white. I'm just letting you know. I mean, I look white as fuck, and as soon as these motherfuckers realize what my name is or what my background is, it's like it's a wrap. Like, you can't even do that.
And these people are crazy. What we saw in Philadelphia with that guy Walter Wallace wielding a knife. I mean, and still Black Lives Matter protested and rioted and looted. And because he was shot and killed, as he should have been shot and killed, because he tried to kill police officers.
Is she talking about the dude with the knife, the who was experiencing an episode, had a fucking butter knife, dude? You got a goddamn Kevlar vest on, looking like the fucking Gestapo. You're gonna kill a black kid because of a butter knife? Get the fuck out of here, dude. You're not a cop. You're not a man. You should never be around guns if that's the case.
And this is what happens when you have an entire generation of people who have grown up without fathers in the home. You know, we have an authority issue in this country in terms of having basic respect. And it's not a hard request. When a police officer pulls you over, I've been pulled over, I listen to his instructions. That's the first thing. Right now, you have parents teaching people you don't have to listen to police officers' instructions if you are Black.
This is not true. It's so disgusting to cape for the police in this way. Like, even removing the racial component, even though she very much does use her background as a Black woman as a racial shield to deflect away any sort of legitimate criticism about her advocacy for white supremacy here. Because ultimately what she's doing is saying exactly the same things that white supremacists would say, but as a Black person. Close your eyes and imagine Candace Owens as a white person. You'd be like, holy fuck, this dude is a part of the Klan. This is a Klan's lady. Kids going through a mental health episode deserve to get killed by the state. What a fucking insane thing to say. By the way, this is precisely why the fucking Christchurch shooter named Candace Owens in his manifesto white supremacist, a fucking troll, far-right terrorist who executed so many fucking Muslims in a gross, horrific hate crime. Mentioned Candace Owens as a main inspiration. Now, that dude was a straight-up white supremacist, so he was probably trolling because ultimately white supremacists do not consider Black people to be human, but subhuman. So it was probably a fucking troll regardless, but in this horrific monsters manifesto is because of how she operates in these spaces.
Shouldn't cops be trained, basically get someone in cuffs and then put them in a police car and not use a lot of these techniques that they're using, whether it's a chokehold or something where you can do serious damage to somebody? Wouldn't that be good to kind of do more training? I mean, more training is not a bad idea, right? For the police.
I'm saying, when is a cop done a chokehold on somebody without asking them to first abide by basic instructions?
I understand,
and,
but that
and let's use
Eric Garner.
George Floyd as an example.
Okay.
Because they
Eric Garner. There's a ton of cases where the dude doesn't die, so we don't even hear about it. Cops escalate every fucking day. Wait, first of all, this bitch grew up in Stamford, Connecticut. She doesn't know the first thing about being Black and struggling. You're wrong. Here's the part where you're fucking wrong. She did grow up in Stamford, Connecticut. Guess what, though? She was fucking bullied for being Black when she was in high school. I don't know if there's a fucking grift fake hate crime that she announced, but she literally got damages from the school board at the time. She successfully sued the kids that bullied her for being Black, and she even had like a eating disorder or some shit. She was also she was anti-Donald Trump until 2016. Like, she flipped like that to make money. Charlie Kirk seized on the opportunity. Just letting you know that, like, this person is one of the worst fucking pieces of shit on the planet, dude. I despise her with every bone in my fucking body. Yeah, she got $37,000 for the racist threat case filed by Stanford High School student. $37,000. Fucking monster, dude. This person is beyond the pale. Like, she is an extremely popular Black figure specifically for her advocacy for white supremacist talking points, so that racist white people never have the opportunity to fucking even learn from their bad behavior, where they rush to look for a Black figurehead that will justify their monstrous, awful fucking worldview. She hinders progress. She could be the type of person that would have fought on the side of justice and equality. And instead, she chose the bag. She chose to fucking fill up her pockets. And there's many different ways of doing it, okay? There's no ethical consumption under a capitalist organization of the economy. She'd have been a horrible person otherwise, but yet still have less of a cultural impact. Her position in political discourse is absolutely just the worst, dude. Just the fucking worst.
Situation, even though I do feel it's important to point out that George Floyd, by his, according to his death record, he did not die from a chokehold. He died from a fentanyl overdose. That's
Okay, but I'm
important
sure
to
the
say.
chokehold didn't help.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, when you're being choked for 9 minutes, it's actually just the fentanyl overdose. The guy shot died naturally from a lag of blood. These are the same psychopaths who say it's not COVID that killed you. It's like it's your diabetes that killed you. You know what I mean? It's no different than the argument that it's not HIV that kills you. It's not AIDS that kills you. It's whatever insignificant other secondary disease that you contract that kills you because your immune system is completely compromised and does not exist anymore. When you get shot, it's the blood loss that kills you and not the person who fucking shoots you with a gun. It all goes back to just whatever you want to turn that argument into. It's an idiotic fucking take.
9 arrests that went wrong in all of 2019, despite 2020, despite all of these arrests. And why are we doing that? Human beings are not perfectible, so you're never going to be able to beat that amazing number of 9 going wrong, right? And this is the reason why we know the names of every single Black person that has ended in an unfortunate circumstance with police officers, because it doesn't happen often. So we're able to know every single one of their names.
This is why it's somewhat low-key a dangerous argument to make about police murders being the end-all be-all of police brutality, when there are thousands of regular police stops that escalate into very violent altercations, and even sometimes with an arrest. And there aren't exactly body camera footage or cell phone footage of all that shit either, which is precisely why I always say, like, the extrajudicial state murders of Black men and brown men and poor white men too, like, all of that is just the tip of the fucking iceberg. There's a massive fucking iceberg under that ice cold water that we're not even fucking breaching. We're not even talking about. It's just fucking horrible, dude. There's the sexual assault. There is the brutal arrest. There's always an escalation of violence. Even if that doesn't happen, there's civil assets forfeiture. There is unjustifiable arrests. There is over-policing. Every part of the policing practices in the United States of America is fundamentally fucked. The Stanford article that she wrote, one night I saw watching a movie, MLK and Rosa Parks. I remember feeling shocked. They cited other N-words who had died before me, like Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. They threatened to tar and feather my family. Oh, it's great. Well, I'm glad that she decided to join the cause, the honorable cause of those who literally called her that and threatened to kill her. That's the power of green, baby. That's what happens.
Police officers are killed by Black men 18 and a half times more than Black men are killed by police officers. So you're putting the onus on police officers to be even nicer, even though they're 18 and a half times more likely to end up dead than the other way around. No, it just doesn't work that way.
It's a dangerous job.
That statistic is false. It's a completely made up stat. And also, police officers barely crack the top 20 in dangerous jobs, according to the Labor Bureau, at least. As far as like on-the-job accidents and even death goes, they are the 17th most dangerous job in this country. Crab fishermen, as a matter of fact, and loggers often have the hardest, most difficult, most dangerous job. But you don't see crab fishermen running around killing people and then saying, well, I have a really dangerous job. More lumberjacks die than police officers. Thin plaid line, baby. Also, what is the 18% number? I don't know what the source of that is. I've never heard that before, but there is 0% chance that's true. The reason why there's 0% chance that's true.
You're putting the onus on police officers to be even nicer, even though they're 18 and a half times more likely to end up dead than the other way around.
18 and a half times more likely to be dead as cops is a fucking psychotic take. That is a totally made up number. Even if it's 18% more likely, that is still a made up, like, that's just false data. There is no way that you can interpret data that way. Even if the number is true, you're a fucking cop. You're a cop. More police officers are shot and killed by Blacks than police officers kill African Americans, claims former mayor. The unarmed shootings, okay, so it's just a made up stat. The statistics rattled by Giuliani drew a rebuke from Washington Post, who refuted his claims, making the case that Black Americans are more likely to be shot and killed by the police when unarmed than whites. The paper argued, drawing from its own database, that there are 55 incidents in which police shot and killed unarmed individuals last year, not the 9 that Giuliani notes. The newspaper said that 25 of those incidents involved whites and 14 were Black. But that's not also every instance of police killing Black Americans. Another 20 in our database involved police who may or may not have been armed. And of course, there are numerous incidents in which those killed by the police were armed, some with firearms and with vehicles. The news organization goes on to say that out of the 1,000 deaths in the hands of law enforcement last year, 250, 25% were Black, while noting 48 police officers died over the same period, citing data from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. There you go. Oh, it's from a Daily Wire article that's been removed from the website. Very cool. Of course it's fucking made up, by the way, just for the record. It's of course made up. One fun fact about police statistics is you should always ask if they feature Police officers shot on the line of duty. Make sure that they're not by other cops, by the way, because that also happens. Accidentally killing another cop. You also need to make sure that, like, when we're talking about officers killed on the line of duty, on the job, you got to make sure that it's not heart disease because they were fucking running after someone, or you got to make sure that it wasn't fucking someone driving and slamming into a family and their pickup and then dying that way. Because a lot of times that's how they die, and then that's just added on data. Depending on which resource you're looking at, they'll even fucking add dogs, police dogs that die in the line of duty. So they will use whatever fucking resource they can to pad the numbers and make it seem like there's a legitimate war on cops. You know, at most 1,600 plus cops have been killed in the last decade, when over 800 black people have been killed by cops since 2017. Yeah. Oh, also, here's the other part of it, which is a good point that I keep forgetting to mention. When a cop is killed, the perpetrator is, well, not arrested and brought to justice. Usually cop killers get burned. Christopher Dorner is a great example of this. Can't corner the Dorner. They literally get blown up. Like, either they get blown up or they get fucking burned alive. They get immolated. As a matter of fact, when Dorner was being chased, they almost fucking executed a totally random family that were delivering newspapers just because they thought that they had the same pickup truck as Dorner. They shot like 40 fucking bullets into this pickup truck. Luckily, the mom and daughter did not get executed because cops are so fucking bad at aiming. That's a real story as well, by the way. Just remember that. But in any case, yes, cop killers or criminals, usually that try to harm police officers or whatever, oftentimes get fucking justice very quickly. Even if it might be unjustifiable, they get justice. The difference is when cops kill someone, they do not. That's the whole point. That's why whenever these idiotic fucking racists say, like, well, look at this one black guy that killed a white child. Like, why is nobody talking about this? Is like, are you delusional? Are you fucking stupid? Are you out of your mind? The black dude that killed the white child immediately got arrested, thank God, and is now going to fucking serve the rest of his life in prison. That's the difference. When cops do that, we endlessly deliberate on how justifiable their actions were.
It's a dangerous job.
No, it's not, by the way. Shut the fuck up, Timothy J. Dillon, you dumb fuck. It's not a dangerous job at all. 17th most dangerous fucking job. You know what's actually a dangerous job? The motherfucker who delivers your pizza for you. You might fucking eat them.
One of those jobs where I think, like a nurse, like I joke around about nurses now that are yelling and screaming on Facebook about how tough their job is. I get it. It's a tough job. But when you were a nurse, you also signed up for the idea that sick people were going to come into hospitals. This is part of what you signed up for. So I just feel like with cops, like they signed up for a job.
Wait, what the fuck? Bro, you don't tell firefighters, like, hey, sorry, you don't get the fucking gear that you need. You don't get the fucking fire-resistant gear. We just don't have money. You signed up to be a firefighter, which means you have to fucking self-immolate. And for those of you who were to turn around and be like, well, what about fucking guns with cops? Like, first of all, I'm not even advocating for a fucking full-blown no guns whatsoever. One is a murderer's weapon and demonstrably escalates situations to violent ends. The other is PPE to protect you from getting fucking COVID. Like, you wearing PPE doesn't accidentally fucking kill your patient, okay?
And they are not the ones complaining and protesting.
Right. All right. Yeah, she's, but listen, sometimes they complain when you ask them to, potentially like take a look at their behavior or their culpability. I've heard cops just like reject it out of hand, but I've heard other
dude, he's like trying so hard to fucking push back, but in the most pussy way possible. Just fucking say it with your chest, dude. What's wrong with you? What kind of spineless fuck is this, dude? Oh, I'm just a comedian is probably what he says. But like, god damn, dude, this is fucking no self-respect whatsoever, dude. God damn, dude.
That immediately. I hate when people say that because they don't do that immediately. That is not an instinct of a cop. It has not been the instinct in any of the police videos we've seen even this year to assess. It always escalates that situation after a long period of peace. Again, the George Floyd video was not 9 minutes. They were dealing with him for almost 30 minutes, trying to get him to get out of the car. Sir.
Yeah, dude, that's true. When you get into a disagreement with someone who you want to deny the freedom of, and they don't want that to happen, you get to choke and kill them for 9 minutes. Look, the disagreement was 20 minutes long, so 9 minutes of murder porn is justifiable. Very good take. Tamir Rice got killed in seconds. Yeah, they rolled up with a fucking cop car and clapped a 12-year-old black boy in an open carry state for having a BB gun at a fucking park.
Rayshard Brooks
Right.
in Atlanta, they were so nice to him. Sir, can you please get out of the vehicle? You're sleeping at a Wendy's, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, if they're nice to you, they get to kill you. That's how it works. Like, or if they're mean to you, then, you know, there's an altercation, they get to kill you. If they're nice to you and there's an altercation, they get to kill you. No, how about in none of these fucking statements? How about in none of these statements or in none of these incidents, the fucking person dies? The death penalty without a trial is not how you deal with drunk driving. When the dude wasn't even drunk driving, by the way, he was just fucking, he'd fallen asleep. Like, or you know, $20 bill in dispute is not it does not warrant the death penalty by some random fucking dipshit with a gun who's horny to fucking choke you out. Psycho, absolute psychopath. The worst part about it is that, like, the very same people that have done that to George Floyd would not think twice about doing it to Candace fucking Owens. That's why it is really, truly remarkable that she is the person that's doing this. Like, no matter what you do, Candace, these people are not going to see you as a white person, okay? They're just not. So, good luck to you.